Okay, let's do this. The super speed dilemma. Let's see this.
Super speed is my favorite superpower, period. I simply enjoy almost everything about it. The problem is, it's almost impossible to implement into a film, show, or animation without some sort of inconsistency popping up later down the line.
Honestly, I feel like super speed is the coolest power. Of all of the powers, you could have flight, teleportation, super strength. In comparison, speed is literally on top in every aspect. Like you can anything you can do with any other power, you can do with speed. If you want to be strong, you can beat someone by just being faster than them. You can basically teleport by running fast. It's like fly also. It's such an underrated power.
It seems that the cooler you try to make a speedster look, the more unusable they become. Now, what does that even mean? Let's take the scene with Quicksilver from X-Men, for example. It's one of the most
One of my favorite
memorable,
scenes also.
entertaining, and unique scenes from the X-Men movies, and is clearly extremely popular. He quickly became one of the audience's favorite characters in this film. Here's the problem. By showcasing the speedster's powers in this way, you've now made it almost impossible.
Literally, that scene showed how overpowered he is. Basically, no one can defeat him. Like after you see that, how can you even imagine someone beating him? It's basically impossible. He runs so fast that he's able to push bullets aside. If you wanted to kill Wolverine, Magneto, Professor X all at the same time, he could. So any other battle he does in the future basically becomes obsolete.
To balance this character. By establishing that he can move so fast bullets travel at the pace of a garden snail, you've thrown away almost any chance of including this character in a fight down the line, because
Yeah.
they would just go up and clap the bad guy's booty cheeks before you can even realize what's happening.
It basically removes any stakes in the battle. If he's in the battle, it removes any chance of him losing.
And it always ends up with the audience feeling dissatisfied, because the consequence of getting to see their favorite.
For example, this scene we just saw here, for example, if if it was the same speed that we saw in the last scene, he would be able to react fast enough to that step being removed. He would be able to go on that step before she even moves it. It doesn't make sense.
Ends up with the audience feeling dissatisfied, because the consequence of getting to see their favorite.
Like he should never be shocked. Like he should never have that face of shock.
Character in action is seeing their favorite character tossed aside. That's the super speed dilemma, and today let's go over some possible solutions on how to fix this problem. How do we create a scenario where we can have our favorite speedster not hold back in a fight and also keep them consistent? How do we make
I feel like I know this is off tangent, but but Eternals was it's an underrated movie. Some bits are very but some parts of the movie are actually really good.
a seemingly unbeatable character struggle? Well, first, we have to identify the types of speedsters we typically see in films and shows. I found speedsters tend to fall into one of these three general categories. So let's begin with my personal favorite out of the three, the perpetual speedster. This is someone like Red Rush, who all day, every day experiences things in super speed. Every second of every moment is slow motion for him.
That would be torture. Imagine enduring a breakup or an embarrassing moment, just something that lasts a few seconds. You just go through it for hours in your head. Oh my god.
Can't see things how I do.
In essence, that's basically punishment. That's torture, basically.
My perception is just as fast as I am. The briefest conversation with anyone seems like hours to me. It's agony.
Next, we have the situational speedster. These are speedsters who we see are capable of living.
There's actually an interesting view of it. If that's the downside of super speed, that you perceive everything super slow. So you're basically watching the world go on in slow motion. You won't perceive yourself as being fast, but you just perceive everyone as being slow. That would actually be that would be torture, honestly. Like thinking of it, you can't have any meaningful or like actual interesting. Like you can't have anything fun to do. You can only admire. For example, you still look at nature and admire nature, but you can't actually take part in anything because it would be too boring for you. Because to do anything takes ages to do.
At normal speed. This also seems to be the most common type of speedster. Most representations of the Flash, Quicksilver, and speedsters from other shows
This is the only
fall
speedster I
into
would
this
want to
category. These
be.
are speedsters who only seem to go into super speed mode either when they're in a dangerous situation or when they choose to activate super speed. And finally, we have the Simply Fast. These speedsters are, well, just fast. They don't seem to have super react, where the world around them appears to be in slow motion because of how their reaction time keeps up with the speed at which they're moving. And here's the important part. Even if they do have some sort of super react, it's never explicitly shown. These speedsters are the easiest ones to keep consistent, because although they have the ability to move incredibly fast, it doesn't seem like their perception of time keeps up with that level of speed. And again, even if it does, it's something we're not explicitly shown. And I'll talk about why that's so.
I have to comment about the music that I'm hearing in the background. There's a piano playing in the background. It's like it's pulling me out. I can notice it when he's silent. I can audibly notice it.
Important later. So now that we've got the three main categories we'll be working with for this video, let's talk about what causes this inconsistency. And really, it boils down to one thing in particular, which you've
Guitar, piano. What the fuck? Yeah, it's a guitar.
probably noticed me emphasize, and that's the character's perceived level of power from the audience's perspective. If from the audience's point of view, there's too great of a perceived imbalance of power between our speedster and their enemy, then of course that defeat isn't going to be accepted. Regardless of how powerful these characters actually are in the lore or in the comics or in the movie itself, it's that perceived level of power that truly matters when it comes to creating that entertaining experience. To further establish my point regarding this perceived imbalance of power, let's take a look at two different examples from the X-Men movies. One is Quicksilver fighting Apocalypse, and the other is Quicksilver fighting Jean Grey. We have to keep in mind that not everyone who watches these movies has read the comics, as like me, we've only encountered these characters through these films. And so, again, it's very important to fully establish what these characters are capable of if you don't want a character's defeat to feel like it's out of place. And
I comment. I feel like X-Men Apocalypse was very underwhelming. I would have wanted just more. I miss the old X-Men movies, the ones that we had, basically the Hugh Jackman movies when he was Wolverine. I feel like those movies were the best. After they refreshed it, like after First Class wasn't that bad, but the only bad thing is like some characters were fucked over basically, and how powerful they were. One of them was Darwin. Yeah, he was so easy to defeat. He literally boasted about how he's literally unkillable, and his basically power is to protect him and not make him die. And he died in the next scene. It's like, but the old movies are the ones that actually I miss, and I love. The new ones are just something's missing about them. I think Hugh Jackman's what made the X-Men movies actually good. Like seeing the Wolverine character, but
after some reflection, it seems like the reason why I, and so many others, felt like the writers pulled this fast reaction superpower out of their ass just to defeat Quicksilver in this scene was because up until this point, we never saw him use this ability. Every other power he uses in this final fight has been shown before, all except this one. That's why it feels so out of place, and that's why it feels like Quicksilver was killed off just for the sake of getting rid of our overpowered speedster. What X-Men Apocalypse should have done is show him using this adaptive reaction time at least once. It could have been as easy as him quickly reacting to a surprise attack, or for example, dodging a bullet, instead of simply disintegrating the gun. Simply by letting us know that he has this superpower, Quicksilver's defeat suddenly feels much more reasonable. And the same thing.
it felt like lazy writing. Like they can't have him because if Quicksilver is there, they won. So they can't have been like an easy win. Oh, Quicksilver came, we won. they had to make a bit of a struggle, so they had to make Quicksilver get injured and be like, oh, he can't run anymore because he got hit in the leg by Apocalypse. Like, it's very lazy writing. I feel like you could find a way to write around a speedster that's super fast, that's very fast, in other ways than making him look weak. Or if you want him to be weak, then just have that from the beginning, to where, for example, he's a speedster, but he's not that fast of a speedster. Just don't have him go up and down in power level. It's the same thing that happened in the Flash show, where they just went from him being, oh, this amazing speedster. There are literal scenes in Flash where he stops time, analyzes the situation, and goes through the motions and attacks the villains and takes them down in a couple seconds. And there are scenes in the Flash where he literally is a guy on a bike can escape him. It's like doesn't make any sense logically speaking. They go up and down in how fast he is. It ruins the show. After a couple seasons, it feels pointless because what you think about the Flash is he's super fast. He's able to do, like for example, it's the same thing in the animated series. The animated series they don't play around with power level. They just have him on level. While in the Flash movie, Flash series, they can't have him be all overpowered because eventually it doesn't make sense to keep doing more seasons. So they have to make him weaker, then stronger, then super strong, then he's very weak.
Applies for Jean Grey. We've never seen her react to things this fast before, so once again, it's an imbalance in perceived power, even though her character at this point is incredibly powerful and probably...
Like, it doesn't make sense that she's able to do this. You know what I mean? It's like, because even, let's say, in your mind, she has the power of basically psychic telekinesis, whatever it is. She's able to basically to control things with her mind. Let's say the Dark Phoenix or whatever happened in the show gave her the powers to think very fast. Even though she thinks very fast, she can't react super fast. She still should be able to react like a normal human being or above human level, not to super speed level.
Does have the ability to do this, the fact that we've never caught a glimpse of this before made this defeat so unacceptable. In other words, if you're gonna have a powerful character get defeated by an enemy, make sure they're being defeated by something the audience already understands or has acknowledged. Otherwise, it's gonna feel like you pulled something out of your ass just to get that character out.
You literally did it just for the scene, basically.
Super speed really is a power that requires tremendous amounts of creativity to do properly, and I personally believe there's still so much to explore. Going back to Perpetual Speedsters specifically, I'd like to talk about the serious untapped potential this type of speedster has in terms of storytelling. In my opinion, one of the best ways to go about using a speedster like this is to make a show like One Punch Man, a show that embraces the fact that the main character is nearly...
Basically, One Punch Man is literally... He isn't just a speedster, but it shows the speedster power into where he does everything. He can literally kill and basically do anything, literally. And the show makes fun of that, and that's how they embrace that he's all powerful. They don't make him weaker in occasions in different battles to make the stakes higher, to make it feel more exciting. The show is based around him being super strong. So they never... He is what a true speedster would be like in any movie or series.
Unbeatable, and making it work by having their true battle be internal instead of external. We even saw glimpses of the show kind of going in this direction when Red Rush first explained his power. This kind of speedster would fit so well into a show with a darker tone that revolves around an internal conflict.
I do the best that I can do. Right now, honey, the world just wants us to fit in, and to fit in, we just gotta be like everybody else.
But Dad always said our powers are nothing to be ashamed of. Our powers made us special.
Everyone's special, Dash.
Which is another way of saying no one is.
Right. Next up, we have the most common type of speedster, which we see everywhere, the situational speedster. This is the kind of speedster that seems to be able to control when their power is active and when it isn't. So unlike the perpetual speedster, they can actually live a normal life. This type of speedster typically loses fights when they, for no reason whatsoever, exit out of super speed just to stand there and do nothing, allowing the enemy to
That's literally what I thought about the Flash show. So. It makes you hate.
Yeah, there's not much else to
It's
say about this,
embarrassing.
and I'm not about to go on a rant. If the
It's like
superpower is
Flash is one of my
thing
favorite characters,
in
and they
any
just make him look like a fucking dumbass. Literally terrible. Make him look so bad. It's very
only turn
disappointing.
on every single time, then they'd still be susceptible.
You know, I like A-Train in how they made his character based on off his speed, basically, to where he can run fast, but he can't react fast. If you get what I mean, he's basically it's like in real life, where just because you can run fast doesn't mean you react fast. He can run fast, but if someone catches him off guard, he can like super speed, be like, "Ooh," and move out of the way. He needs to build up to that speed. He can't go from 0 to 100 real quick. He has to get a build up of speed.
To surprise attacks. However, if their super speed has been shown to activate automatically whenever they're in danger, in this situation, the most you can do is
And Quicksilver dying in the Avengers movie is one of the shittest, laziest writing I have ever seen. How can you kill off? Okay, literally, like, the scene in front of us shows him basically seeing the bullet go in slow motion. So in that scene, if you can't remember the scene where he literally runs in front of the bullet to protect Hawkeye. How can a speedster who can literally perceive bullets not be able to block literal bullets other than by, oh, I have to block them with my body? He could have moved the bullets. He could have moved the people. It literally doesn't make sense why he had to die. It's zero
have
sense.
the enemy be clever. Whatever the case, it's worth it to experiment with more creative ideas so that both our protagonists and antagonists don't end up looking like a bunch of idiots who just stand there and do nothing.
Whoever you are, give yourself up.
And finally, the simple
Heartbreak.
facts. As we previously established, this is the most consistent type of speedster, as they simply just aren't that overpowered, resulting in the show not having to make them extremely stupid in order to beat them. And in my opinion, this is the type of speedster that is most suitable for films, shows, and animations in general. Without a reaction time as fast as they are, enemies have the ability to catch them off guard, set up traps and ambushes, or directly confront them in the fight.
It's like
And as we
A-Train.
mentioned before, even if your speedster does have some level of super react, it's important to never explicitly show it to the audience, because as long as the viewer doesn't know exactly how fast they can see things, a speedster's defeat by some sort of surprise attack would likely still
Instantly, once you show them reacting fast reacting to a bullet in slow motion, it shows that they can defeat anyone basically. Because if they can react to a bullet shot at them in slow motion, then they could defeat nothing. Nothing can defeat them. It breaks any illusion of challenge. But if you don't show them, like you just said, if you don't show them reacting to that, show the bullet going to slow motion, then you could just assume that this one instance he was able to react fast. But usually he is not able to do that.
be acceptable in the viewer's eyes.
Oh my god. It's this scene. It's tragic. It's such lazy writing. He literally couldn't move the bullets. He couldn't move them. He had to, a speedster, his only option to block bullets from killing a person was to stand in front of them. Stand in front of them.
And even without super act, there's still so much.
And by the way, Quicksilver that we just saw is the same character, not the same movie. Our universe. One is the Sony X-Men movies, and this one was the Avengers movie. But anyways, it's the same character. So they are supposed to have the same level of speed. Can you see this guy? he literally took down 5 men who were shooting bullets and moved each bullet out of the way. This is the same guy that got shot by a gun.
Opportunity to show off their speed in cool ways. Take, for example, Makari in Eternals, using shockwaves as an attack instead of punches. Or these beautiful shots where we see her speeding across the landscape at regular speed. Like seriously, let's get more creative with this superpower. And if it really ends up being that complicated, directly reducing the top speed and the fastest reaction time a speedster can have would all...
Because you could have a speedster that is just not super fast. Like he's faster than the normal human, but he isn't super fast where he can instantly travel to America, then to China, then to Russia in instance. It doesn't have to be one or the other. You don't have to be super fast or super slow. They can just be faster than a normal human.
So seriously help. Dash is a fantastic example of this. He's just not that fast, and so you not once ever feel like this character is inconsistent. Not every single character that has super speed needs to be this incredibly overpowered, get everything done instantly sort of speedster.
For him to make friends.
He's got a whole ocean of friends. You're right, I'll do my best to make friends with the guy.
Joseph!
Or for example, if you really don't want to reduce the maximum speed a speedster can have, you can instead simply have something like this. This is an idea I've had for years, and I'm honestly surprised we haven't seen this get popularized yet. A speedster whose reaction time and speed slowly ramp up over time. Instead of immediately going from standing still to moving at 1,000 miles per hour, they have to, like a car, press the gas pedal and accelerate up to that.
I thought that what Adrian is, where he doesn't go from 0 to 100. He needs to build up a run. That's why, for example, when he was against Homelander in The Boys, spoiler alert, he got killed by Homelander by a punch because he basically, his character arc, there was a woman in front of him on the road. When I'm explaining this terribly, he avoided her, fell on the ground, and then Homelander catches up to him. If he literally just plowed through the woman, he would have been alive. But him avoiding her, fell on the ground, and Homelander then killed him. I feel like he could have, if he didn't go, if he's able to go 100 straight away, they would have been able to dodge Homelander. So that's the reason I think he is a 0 to 100. I'm remembering the show.
At top speed. This gives so much opportunity for the enemies to have counterattacks to their super speed, and it also allows the speedster to maintain that upper limit of power. But yeah, I really would like to see more attention on super speed as a whole. It's not just an ability that's too overpowered for complexity, nor is it one which is only good for a cool slow motion sequence, which leads to a character getting...
But honestly, the slow motion sequences are the best. I love all, even in the Flash movie, which is not that good of a movie. Let's be real. The slow scenes I love the slow scenes. My favorite slow scene is the Quicksilver in the X-Men kitchen scene. That was the best slow scene. But I just love like how they perceive everything in slow motion.
Sidelined. By exploring some relatively unconventional ideas, we might finally start to get a glimpse of the incredible potential this superpower has to offer in terms of creating an interesting story.
Not bad.